Well, it's fair to say that this situation just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
No. No.
Oh, poor Diddy. Not really. This, as of course, there are some ups and downs in the legal court proceedings. There's a lot of civil lawsuits. There's also a lot of federal lawsuits and a lot of twists and turns in this particular case here, as even 50 Cent has come out and talked about how, hey, there's actually a chance for Diddy to win this. What's going on here is now we have new charges, new people implicated, and now it looks like the prosecution, according to some people, is throwing everything they can on Diddy's new high-powered legal team that definitely is going to be fighting for his freedom as much as they can here. Let's just get into it. I wanted to give you a full kind of perspective here, and at the end kind of delve into more of the kind of conspiracy, deep down the rabbit hole type of stuff there. But let's just go off with the first kind of an initial aspect of what's really going on here. As it's pretty clear. Powerful people in America for far too long have been able to get away with some really horrible, awful things. Actions against fellow citizens, also children as well. When the children aspect kind of gets exposed there, it really does highlight the sinister nature of some powerful people that just believe that they're above the law. And many times they are because of the connections that they have to the elites of this country that many times participate in these kind of really weird, seedy behaviors. So, of course, let's get into the latest updates here as we have this one from Newsweek talking about how Diddy now has new accusations against him that implicate dozens of people worldwide. Yep. Lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs said new allegations that prosecutors intend to introduce at trial would implicate dozens of unidentified witnesses and alleged co-conspirators around the world. The defense is asking the court to exclude evidence of alleged crimes that Combs has not been charged with as his trial nears. Yeah, the trial is supposed to be, I believe, on May 5th. And now it looks like the feds are like, whoa, look, we got this new stuff that we allegedly never knew before. Diddy's lawyers are like, yeah, they knew about him. Oh, look, we got these new accusations, these new people coming forward. And Diddy's lawyers are like, we can't prepare for this, as it looks like there's going to be probably, most likely, a postponement of this criminal court trial. How long will it be postponed? Well, I don't know here, but is this a sign of the feds playing dirty, or the feds looking like they might be potentially in trouble here? As now there's also a lot of rumors going around that they want to keep a lot of the key witnesses, specifically anonymous, during the trial, which would be very difficult to do since they have to testify. Now, there's some people that are okay putting their names forward. There's also a lot of other people who don't want their names out there to the general public because they don't want the world to know that they were allegedly diddied. I like how that's now used as an action to describe what kind of happened to, as now a lot of people in the online internet community always now have to say no Diddy before saying anything kind of questionable. I know it's been introduced in my personal vernacular, and it's definitely kind of representing a very important story that a lot of eyeballs are on that now probably will be postponed here. As now Newsweek writes, Combs is facing multiple federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation to engage in the buying of people. The rapper and record executives is accused of arranging freak-off parties where he allegedly forced victims to perform SAs. He is also named as a defendant in dozens of civil lawsuits from people accusing him of committing crimes against them in an adult fashion. No, that, of course, is what we know here. Combs' lawyers are now saying that these new accusations allegedly happened 20 years ago, the oldest one dating back to the 1980s. Some of the alleged allegations are, quote, demonstrably false, according to Diddy's lawyers, but, quote, would nonetheless require an enormous amount of trial time to disprove. And this is why we're probably going to have a major postponement here. and why this trial will not be starting at any time soon. As now the feds are saying, hey, he did a lot of things, including, quote, dangling women off of hotel balconies. Yes, that's the latest allegations, as now he was hit with a 5-count federal indictment. As Mario Nafal writes, turns out bad boy life wasn't just a catchy slogan. Feds allege Diddy dangled women over a hotel balcony. Apparently his idea of, quote, taking relationships in the height. Okay, I don't think the feds wrote it that way. As now there's a new kind of allegations about drug-fueled freak-off parties, where, again, a lot of the basis is about the employees here and the people around him and the security guards and the people who worked for him being coerced to perform acts that they weren't comfortable or naturally wouldn't do. Diddy's legal team is saying, yeah, a lot of this was consensual. They wanted to do these freak-off things. They wanted to have relations with him. And if you're the feds, it's going to be very difficult to prove in one way or another here, especially now with a lot of anonymous people not putting their names behind these accusations, with the jury and potentially, no one ever finding out who these people are, as some of them allegedly are also very prominent individuals. How will this kind of move forward here, as now these indictments have been amended 3 times? And it looks like this is going to be something that will be drawn out for a very long time, as the second amendment indictment was filed last month, as it looks like there's going to be, a new one being filed right now. As, of course, the second one alleged that Combs was forcing some of his employees to work long hours with little sleep and coerced an employee into having relations with him. That's the allegation that, of course, we made a full video about the last time around, which you could check out on this channel. And if you want to check out and support this channel before talking about the deeper down the rabbit hole type of stuff here, and Kanye actually talking to Diddy, one of his last few remaining friends there, we want to tell you about wearechange.shop. We got a lot of great supplements available to you. The first supplement that we launched was the Chill Pill. It's ashwagandha. It's something that I definitely recommend for males after talking to their medical professional, but do not take this for multiple months. You want to take this for a month to 3 months max, according to medical professionals. And I had a friend recently that was dealing with a lot of stress, and she was told, my doctor literally prescribed me ashwagandha. And I'm like, yeah. It's really great to lower your cortisol levels. It's really good for testosterone. It's really good for hormone levels. It's really good for optimal energy levels, elevated mood, and it helps a lot of people who are dealing with significant stress during those key particular times. Personally, I just take it 1 month out of the year. I don't take it more than that. There's some people that shouldn't be taking it. Pregnant women should not be taking it. And just do your own due diligence, do your own homework before taking anything into your body. But this is some really good, powerful stuff that definitely has helped me elevate my game, helped me out personally. I think it might be helpful to you. And before taking it, do your own homework, do your own research, and, of course, get it on wearechange.shop. The link is down in the description below. And, of course, this goes towards supporting this independent media broadcast. And, again, that was one of the first things that I started to take. Again, I was dealing with so many health problems, and I was like, okay, how do I get out of this? I heard about ashwagandha. I was like, let me try this. And this was one of the things that has absolutely helped and propelled me to be in a way better position than I was beforehand. So, again, just be careful with taking anything into your own personal body. Everybody is different. And ashwagandha, I personally like this stuff. I think you might too. Wearechange.shop. Check it out right there. Now, as this trial most likely will get postponed, as some of the charges are still potentially being added on here or being reducted here. It's going to be interesting to see what the judge does here, because for what I foresee here, it's just going to be probably moved here. All of this is we're getting new reports that Diddy is still getting ghosted by a lot of people that were his friends. Individuals like Jay-Z that allegedly no longer are talking to him. Kirsty Karam, his former right hand, allegedly issued a denial and ran for cover when asked about Diddy. And only Kanye West is still answering the phone after there was a leaked jail cell call catching Diddy telling him that, quote, we're going to have years and decades to fight these MFers. Right now, quote, enjoy your life. As prosecutors are accusing Diddy of some very serious charges. And the main witness number one, is Casey Vanchera. She's the video that was seen being dragged by her hair, and she is going to be testifying. The other witnesses, the prosecution is trying to still remain anonymous, and it's still going to be interesting to see how that plays out in a court of law here. As Diddy, of course, had a major defense shakeup. He had to fire the lawyer that represented bin Laden. Sorry, the lawyer that previously represented bin Laden said he couldn't represent Diddy. I believe that's exactly what happened here. But he has a new lawyer, Mark Gergos, who is, of course, a guy who previously represented Hunter Biden, Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown. Yeah. Talk about oh my goodness, talk about a record here of representing some, quote, interesting characters. What does Hunter Biden, Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown all have in common with P. Diddy? Well, I'll leave that for your own interpretation there. But it's clear Diddy has a lot of money. He's spending a lot of money on lawyers here, and his lawyers are trying to commit some very bold moves to try to stop a lot of the witnesses from moving forward. Diddy's lawyers are arguing that if these witnesses want to stay anonymous during their testimony, that they shouldn't be able to testify at all here. And there are key motions being filed right now that a lot of people could potentially be denied if the judge approves it from speaking out against P. Diddy. Now, 50 Cent, a guy who has been calling out Diddy for a long time and viciously trolling him online, specifically with that bike seat comment. That was hilarious. He even came out and said, yeah, there's a chance Diddy could actually win this, according to Vibe.com. Says that he's probably going to have to pay a lot of money, but if he has the right legal team, he could potentially win the case here, as Terrence Howard a couple days ago also came out against Diddy, talking about all the men who attended the Diddy party lost their man card and probably were snooped by Diddy. Russell Brand, a man who is also now being formally charged by British authorities against allegations against him doing things against women unconsensually, now also came out against that video, saying, I was at a Diddy party and it was quote, tedious garden party. Here's what Russell Brand had to say.
Now, Terrence Howard said any man who went to a Diddy party has lost his man card, and I think he said I think he means literally, given that it's a Diddy party. Because I went to that one, that white party one, and, you know, frankly, a bit of an F would have livened up an otherwise pretty tedious garden party that was essentially like going to sort of like the Chelsea Flower Show, just with some hip-hop playing.
I've never...
Yeah, and then Terrence Howard kind of described the scenario and situations that he had to go through of him having personal experiences of Diddy being like, yeah, teach me how to be an actor, and then him acting really weird when they were one-on-one and trying to, according to Terrence Howard's assistant and him, trying to be, the undercover notorious brother that he is, if you know what I mean. Russell Brand's comments here are interesting here because from all the testimony that we're hearing is that there was, normal parties during the day. Everyone was wearing white. It was all right. It was fine. There was even, children. And then when it would get dark, Diddy would come out and be like, all right, get the children out of here. And that's when the real parties would start. And then Russell Brand previously described how he was married at the time, how he left early. And then a lot of people report the party, the after party, and then the after party, the back room, and then the back room, and then everyone would be in the back room. Yeah, that type of stuff there. That wouldn't surprise me, especially with very powerful individuals that are usually getting their way, regardless of the consequences of their actions here. And then Terrence Howard described how a lot of people were just getting, quote, effed at this party, and this is what Russell responded with.
Firstly, it's acting lessons. Actually, I'd like to hear some of your records. Look, I'll be honest with you, I just want to fuck you. Ooh.
Yeah, that's essentially what Terrence Howard kind of described here, and it does go along with what a lot of the allegations against him are right now in this civil and federal court case that is being run by the Southern District of New York, the same kind of jurisdiction that also ran the cases against Maxwell, Epstein, and Sam Bankman-Fried. It's essentially where a lot of the conspiracies just kind of go away to dwindle away and not have any kind of information against the elites come out here. As let's be honest with ourselves, Kanye West is picking up the phone for Diddy, but I wonder if the Clintons are, because they were doing some work together. I wonder if Barack Obama is, since they were doing work together. The Democratic Party establishment, especially the last presidential election, was the who's of Diddy's friends that were campaigning for Kamala Harris, and it wasn't a coincidence that even people like Usher, who was like, I'm not going to get involved, decided to get involved here. All of this is now there's a lot of attention on Bieber. I'm thinking about making a separate video about this. Let me know if you want a separate video about this. Because when you look at a lot of these kind of child actors, child celebrities, a lot of them have major downfalls, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's related to the very toxic nature of the predatory, seedy monsters in our industries, the Harvey Weinsteins, and the individuals like Mike Jeffries that also are now being accused of trafficking. But guess what? Won't be in trial because of his, quote, dementia. Interesting there how that kind of unfolded here. But again, I might make a separate video about this, since Usher and Diddy definitely looked like they were very young children that were just growing up under the arm of Diddy, who, according to a lot of sources, according to a lot of the allegations against him, couldn't keep it in the pants and was an undercover brother. What was he doing when parents were just literally leaving children at his doorstep? That's a question that I think is worth asking here and could potentially explain the downfall and what looks like a very difficult time that individuals like Justin Bieber are going through. Justin Bieber made some very interesting comments as well recently. So if you're interested in a Bieber video, let me know down in the comment section below. But there's a lot of predators out there, and a lot of them are still out there. I don't know what the DOJ is doing. I know they're talking about releasing the MLK and RFK files like soon, and they're talking about how they have hundreds of people working on them. The list of priorities here should be the Epstein client list. There's still very powerful predators out there that hurt children that are still out there. There's still children being hurt right now by the people out there in our society right now. And I'm sorry, but that should be the first priority of what we should be exposing, doing grand jury indictments on, looking into, investigating. And we're not. I don't know why we're not. We should be. If you agree, share this video. There definitely is more to this story, as the government probably is involved here. You don't become a billionaire, okay? You don't have access to all the celebrities. You don't become one of the most powerful people without the government being involved in one way, shape, form, or another. And that's why I would bargain that there probably is a lot more sinister things going on with Diddy involving the feds that the feds are now covering up and making sure that we will never see the light of. That's my own personal opinion. That's my own personal perspective. What do you think? Let me know if you want that Bieber video. Stay tuned for more. Get some supplements on wearechange.shop. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.